Welcome to Nascimento Marketing's 32 Blitz presented by Living Sport. Tonight is the American Finals. Winner of this round goes to the International Finals, Canada versus USA. On today's stream, we will be playing Madden 20. Up top here, we have our Florida rep, Ryan. At the very bottom, we have our Penn State rep, Dan. And right beneath me here, we have Michael, our special guest today. So, we had some great conversation going on right before the stream started, but gotta keep chugging along. So before we kind of continue that dialogue, let's get through the teams. So here are the rules for today, guys. One game. Winner moves on to play Canada. The Canadian bracket has some extreme competitors. Ryan was on the Zoom call first, so Ryan gets to call heads or tails.
Heads.
Are we flipping a coin now?
Yeah, look, heads.
Official.
We're getting crazy. This is like an NFL game. So Ryan, what we're gonna do here? Ryan picks. You have the decision to pick an NFL team, or let Dan pick, and then you get to come within like 3 to 5 overall points.
Oh boy.
I'll just pick. I'm gonna have to stay true. I gotta go with my Bucks again.
Hey, we gotta change it up, Ryan. We gotta make it interesting. What? Are you way better with the Bucks?
Yeah, that's my team I play
let's
with.
go. Let's go Bucks. I'll let you go Bucks. Dan, you can go
We're
from
playing-
75 to 85.
75 to 85?
Yeah.
I got the Seahawks.
Okay,
Where are the Seahawks at?
84.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Anything else? So it's one game, right? We have our team set. Winner takes all. That's it. Let's get going, guys. We're cruising through this. If anyone watching here hasn't noticed, I've had a crazy day. That's why I'm pumped. I'm actually look. You can see the jerseys I was using to film a promo video today. I was like doing one of the scenes. I'm still in soccer socks and the soccer shorts and everything. Crazy, man. Canoeing, sea-doing, biking, running. It's crazy day. I'm gonna be an actor. Anyways, guys, so while they're doing this, Ryan and Dan have obviously been, this is like their 4th stream now, but this is Michael's first as a guest. So Michael, usually throughout all this stream, people have the chance to kind of give a breakdown of who they are and what they do. So I'll leave it to you right now to kind of say, what's your name, school, if you're done, or where you're attending, and then what you're doing or what you have planned for your career, what you want to do for your career. Sound good?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on today. Appreciate it a lot. But yeah, so I'm getting my undergrad in sport management at Baldwin Wallace. I'll be going into my junior year this fall. Knock on wood that we're able to go back on campus, but who knows. So I have spent time working with the Cleveland Indians fan services department. I was supposed to do that this summer too, but unfortunately because of the way things ended up because of COVID, not able to do that. Just got a job with the Browns ticket operation for game day, but again, that's up in the air because of COVID. I work at our school's athletic department in both communications and as an event intern, so basically helping make sure the event goes right, escorting teams and officials and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, our conference's fall sports got postponed through December 31st, so I won't be doing that in the fall. On the side, my buddy Andrew George, who was on here a few weeks ago, and we do a podcast called Off the Wall. So check us out on Anchor or Spotify.
No free
But yeah, as far as
no, I'm kidding.
What's that?
That's a joke. I said no free shout-outs. But
well, I mean, we're gonna have you on here
yeah.
in a couple weeks. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I was supposed to be on their podcast. Tomorrow's episode was gonna come out, but
yeah.
Crazy week. The league I work for, the team I work for, our league just announced that return to play. So running around, I have another meeting tonight at 10 p.m. So crazy time. So obviously you guys understand. I can't wait to be on your show and promote it.
Oh yeah, no worries. We're pumped though. We think that's gonna be a great conversation, man. We're excited to have you on.
Yeah, 100%. I can't wait to go on. Michael, do you mind trying one thing for me? I think you have earphones in with a microphone, correct?
Yeah.
Do you want to try just doing your computer audio? Because you're kind of, it's hard to hear you. Let's just try it.
Does it sound alright? Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. Maybe, oh man. Maybe
Okay, sorry about that.
Maybe just back up the computer a bit because now it's loud. But
How's that?
perfect. That's perfect.
Oh,
Let me just fix this. So yeah, that's amazing stuff. And is Baldwin Wallace in the Cleveland area?
Yeah, so it's in Berea, which is about 15 minutes south.
That's where the Browns practice.
Where the Browns train. Yep.
Sports guy Chris, don't forget it. I'm also an actor. I'm a producer. I'm a marketing fiend. I don't know, whatever else you want to say. But yeah, no, that's good stuff. Great intro. And obviously, if you want to get in contact with any one of us, even Michael, after hearing, you can always find us through our names here on LinkedIn or message me at nascimentomktg in the middle banner, and I'll set you up with whomever. But with that, let's kind of get into today's game a bit. So we have Dan from Penn State representing the Seahawks in lime green. And we have, good old Ryan from University of Florida representing his hometown team, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so guys, what do we see here? Is Dan any good at this? Because I know Dan just purchased the game for this.
Yeah, no, Dan's doing good.
Yeah.
He's got a good drive going right here. Very balanced. Sometimes, like, when I see people playing online, they literally will do, like, the same, like, formation, and it's, like, a weird one, too, where it's, like, something crazy with, like, that they just do, like, 2 or 3 plays. So I can respect that that's not how he's playing.
Yeah,
So.
Absolutely. Dan, do you know how to read defenses anyhow? Like, if a corner's in press or anything like that?
So I'm a huge football fan, so I kind of using what I know about the game with my Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
But
What's my Eagles?
just from experience, like I'm more of an offensive guy. On defense, I'm not very good.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much like you're gonna have to beat yourself on defense because I had no idea how guard 11 guys at once. But
Yeah. No, for sure.
no, oh, he dropped it.
Oh.
We're delayed here, so I don't know what happened. Oh, I guess I do now. Thanks, Dan. Next time, just say spoiler alert. Otherwise, you're gonna ruin the stream. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, gotcha.
No, that's a joke. We're just chilling here. It's not like there's billions of dollars, just millions of dollars on the line with every stream. Shout out Bill Gates. I know you're watching. Yeah, but sorry, my mind's all over the place here, and I'm trying to look at the plays. Dan, if you want a little cheat code here when you're on defense, just pull up the Twitch and you can see what Ryan's doing. But I guess there'll be the lag, so I don't know how useful that will be. But yeah, Michael, what I like to do here on these streams is kind of get people off their game. So I like to pull questions at Ryan or Dan when they're playing, because it's like an interview, right? You're going to have, executives from the Yankees, Nike. They're all watching. Shout out to you guys. And this is like an interview process. They want to have employees that can multitask. So I think by asking questions to these guys, and depending what their answer is, hopefully maybe they get a job from it, and maybe they end up working. I don't know. Maybe that's something I shouldn't. I'll just leave it at that. But that's maturity right there. Yeah, Michael, do you have any questions for these guys, or do you guys have any questions for Michael?
So you said you're in the podcast industry, right?
Yeah, my buddy and I, we started a podcast last fall that we've been doing. We try to release an episode about every week.
That's sweet, dude. So I actually pitched the idea of having Penn State Sports Business Club have our own podcast. Mm-hmm. So like could you give me a little insight on like how you started, what kind of software you use, how much of it is being a charismatic person, or how much of it is just being well prepared and being very knowledgeable about the industry?
Mm-hmm. So our podcast is called Off the Wall, and what we have like a huge focus on sports, but it's not only sports, I guess. So we've tackled social issues, entertainment, music, that sort of thing. So part of what it depends on is the guests that we have that week. So we try to bring in someone that's at least knowledgeable in whatever field interests them or the field they're trying to get into. For the most part, we've had a lot of students on that we've connected with through Baldwin Wallace. had a lot of sport management students on as well, some of our professors and that sort of thing. We use Anchor to, and actually, I was going to ask you, Chris, because I know you have a podcast as well.
Shout out the route on all major platforms. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I'll ask you, I guess, in a second here. But we use Anchor, which allows us to launch it on both their site as well as Spotify for free.
Mm-hmm.
The actual like putting together of the podcast, because I do a lot of like constructing the audio, which I enjoy, is through Audacity, which is also free. I know it works for Windows. I'm not 100% sure about Mac.
It does.
So we did that. I think like what?
It does work on Mac, but I hate it.
Well, I know like so Andrew has a Mac and he's tried to download it in like 3 different times. It's just completely failed, like even just trying to install it. So I have no idea. That's why I do a lot of it now since we're both remote. But I think like as far as the way we try to present ourselves, we try to be as authentic as possible, just so that we try to make it conversational, I guess. So we go into shows prepping maybe 5 or 6 questions, and we'll just kind of not ad lib from there, but we'll ask follow-ups from there just so it is more conversational. But I mean, a lot of the people we get on it are through our sport management program. That's kind of how we've advertised it, is through them. So, I mean, I think that's sweet you're trying to do that at Penn State, because I think getting as much student involvement as possible is cool, because especially once you start getting people on and they promote it, I feel like that's how you grow viewership, which is kind of the phase we're in right now, is just trying to grow it as much as possible.
Yeah, 100%, man. Oh, shoot.
Let me chime in here quickly, if you don't mind, Dan.
Huh?
Do you mind if I chime in here quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here, so just kind of answering your question as well. So I have my podcast, The Route. Oh, big run by Ryan. So I also use Anchor. It's a great distributor. Michael, do you have any issue? So I'm on like 7 different platforms. Are you only on Spotify and Anchor, or has it been?
Yeah, and I guess so. A couple things I wanted to ask you were, one, do you only get your metrics through Anchor? Because Andrew and I have found that trying to track our audience, it doesn't seem that accurate through Anchor. I don't know if you've had the same issue. And 2, we tried to add other platforms. I know definitely Apple Podcast is one we want to get on, but we kind of struggled a bit doing that manually. Really?
Doubled my numbers. Like,
wow, that's crazy. See, and that's what we're trying to do. But
so
did you have any trouble uploading it to other platforms?
So Anchor, great platform, great distributor. They should be the ones that do it automatically, right, when you sign up. And then basically once you get approved for Apple, that's when you get approved for like Google, Castbox, Radio Public, Breaker, like all these different ones. But I like continuously got in contact with Anchor. I think I called them like 4 times. I'm like, hey, like I need this out. And that's how it ended up happening. So maybe that's something you should look into. In terms of analytics, at the moment, if I'm being completely honest, the main objective here, my first phase of starting the podcast, was I finished school. Like I graduated a couple weeks ago. And
congrats.
Yeah, thank you. You Ottawa, I know you're watching. I still want a real graduation. Yeah, but so my main objective was, to kind of get my foot in the door in the industry, right? So I was working with a hockey startup, but I wanted to join a team organization, kind of learn from them and see what I can do with my ideas from there, whether it's with the team in the future, whether it's, sports marketing representation, anything like that, whatever fits my needs best and what I can see myself doing long term. So what my objective basically was when I first started was meet as many people as possible and basically take my coffee chats, which I've been doing, throughout my last year with people in the sports industry, and take it to the next level. So now I'm not only meeting executives and managers in Ottawa and students, but I wanted to grow that internationally, right? Because who knows, maybe, and it looks like this is happening already where I get someone on the podcast, and that's actually how I joined my soccer team. I got someone on the podcast, I'm like, hey, who should I talk to? And they're like, talk to this guy, and now I'm on this, I work with the soccer team. Same thing, I got someone from the Jaguars, got someone from the Cavaliers, someone from the Chiefs, and all of them, kind of showed some interest after speaking, and obviously because of COVID, can't go get a visa and move down to the States. But, I'm on the radar now for teams like that. So that made a huge impact, and that was my goal. So I wasn't really too worried about analytics, which is probably something that someone who's interested in digital marketing shouldn't be saying. But for my second phase, I kind of build everything out in phases and kind of grow it from there. I'm definitely going to look somewhere else instead of Anchor. I have some podcasts of mine. That's something we can probably, or platforms of mine. That's something you, I, and Andrew can speak on. But yeah. And then quickly here, Dan, I just want to say one last thing because you're talking about the PSU Business Club podcast. Something that I would recommend, and this is my opinion here, I'd almost start your own podcast instead. Because yes, it'd be great. I think maybe that's a great initiative to start. But I think sometimes I find, because I've been speaking to tons of sport management students, people part of business clubs, and they all put a ton of effort here, into the club, which is amazing. You're kind of getting your resume out there. But sometimes you end up speaking to them, and they did that throughout all of university, but then they're done. They finished school 2 years ago, and they're still not in the industry because they kind of just focused their whole mind on the club rather than kind of building the brand, networking outside of it, rather than just, hey, we're having this event, can you come to this? Rather than, hey, can we have a chat and have that personal dialogue and build it from there? So I don't know if you have an interest in podcasting, maybe kind of start it on your own, but also push that initiative at PSU because, yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't necessary for me because I don't really see myself as podcasty guy. That's the term. But I just thought I was looking at you guys, and I saw that University of Maryland had their own sports business podcast. And I was thinking maybe if there's someone that wanted to get in the sports media industry, that something like a podcast could help them get experience to that industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was kind of the same way where it's basically a year ago, maybe a year and 2 weeks. That's when I kind of dove into the sports industry. I always wanted to work in sports, but I didn't do anything about it. And then when I heard the idea of starting a podcast, I'm like, oh, I'm not that guy. But then now I'm that guy. And, now I'm hosting, events like this, where I kind of came up with this idea in May, put it in a poll, people were interested, I bought a PS4 the next day. So I don't think it hurts to ever try things. And by trying the podcast, by trying streaming, not trying, doing successfully, shout out to the 4 billion people watching, it's allowed me to, now when I go work with teams and stuff, well, I already know how to do this. It's not, hey, let's start a podcast. We're like, great, how do you do it? And they're like, oh, and then you go on Google. Now it's like, oh, how do you do it? You do X, Y, Z. Yes, Z. And you kind of go from there. So I think even if you're not a podcasty guy or girl or whatever, maybe just trying these things out will, help you later on, and you never know when it comes up, whether it's in 2 weeks or in 10 years.
What are some of the things, if you don't mind me asking then, Chris, that you've taken away, since you said initially you were hesitant to do it, that you've taken away from the podcasting that you've learned about yourself professionally?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is people love an authentic story, whether you're marketing, whether you're, having a podcast, whether you're just making a connection. People just like authenticity. So I think whether you're going to interview or anything like that, just being yourself goes a long way. Because surprisingly enough, my second best episode, so my first best episode is the Cleveland Cavaliers one, where it was the first episode on Apple Podcasts, so skyrocketed. But my second one overall is my first episode ever, or it wasn't my first episode ever. Anyway, it's about me. It's literally me just sitting down for 10-15 minutes saying, this is why or how I got into sports, how I went through school, and what I'm doing after school. And I've received messages and emails from students and saying, hey, do you mind making more episodes about yourself? So every 20 episodes I'll do so, but that's one thing. And another, I think it's just a great way to connect with people, right? That's a stream like this. If I never made this event, I would never have met Ryan, Michael, or even Dan, right? And now we have all these connections. I've made probably 64, maybe 50 connections from this event, and they're all genuine, authentic connections where if we ever run into each other in the future at an event or something, hey, you remember me from this, and we can talk about it. But Yeah. I take a sip every time they say podcast. That's good stuff. This Alec. Podcast, 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 podcast. Drink up, boys. Ryan, do you want to say anything to your buddies?
Oh my God.
Ah. Give it like 10 seconds.
10 seconds? For what?
Big play.
Well, we're delayed here. Oh, we saw it. Yeah, that was crazy. Ryan, are you seeing your buddies in the chat?
No, I can't see the chat. I'm too busy in the game.
You don't have YouTube? Yeah, they're saying.
They're probably talking shit right now.
Yeah, they're talking shit. And then this Alec guy's like, take a sip every time they say podcast. That's why I said podcast 10 times. And then that's it. Not too interesting today, boys. Might have to turn it off because it's not that interesting. But yeah, Ryan, let's get you involved here because even though you're down, we want to hear about you because if this is the last hurrah, let's get your story out there.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody that hasn't seen the stream, I mean, my main focus and interest is in event operations and like stadium and facility operations. Next Monday is about to be my first day on the job at the Tampa Sports Authority. And they run all the operations facility at Raymond James Stadium where the Bucks play. So it's gonna be about a 10-month gig, and I'm super excited to get started. So it's been a long quarantine, I think, like most people out here, and most people in the sports world. So, I'm just kind of lucky that I've been able to, be in this position I am right now. So,
Yeah, 100%. Like as great as it is to go and golf every day, I definitely would much rather, be working at Camden Yards right now and be in front of thousands of fans in that beautiful stadium. So definitely wish I had an internship right now.
Wait, where do you live again, Dan? Maryland, right?
Yeah, outside of Baltimore.
I was actually going to stop by Baltimore. I was going to go to Boston and watch like the Celtics, the Bruins.
Really?
And then I want to see the Pats, but they were playing the Ravens that weekend, so I was going to fly.
Wait, are you a Boston everything fan?
No. I just want a sports weekend. I only like the Bruins.
Gotcha.
I mean, sorry. I hate the Bruins. I only like the Pats. Sorry.
So what are your sports teams? It's the Raptors, the Pats.
Senators. Huge Sens fan. Ottawa Senators. They're going to win the Cup in the next 5 years. And Blue Jays, obviously. But
Buddy Jr.
Yeah. I think they have a good team coming up. Am I missing a sport here? Did I say all four?
I think so.
Yeah.
Soccer.
Soccer is Atletico Ottawa, man. Pardon?
Don't forget about ultimate frisbee.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we should bring that up. Ryan's actually a pro ultimate frisbee player, so humble brag over here. Ryan, how many times do you mention when you go out to the bar that you're a professional athlete?
I've said it before.
That's good. That's good stuff. Oh, I love it.
I know I've said it before.
Oh yeah. They're like, oh yeah. They're like, yeah. I what do you do? I'm a receiver, right? you don't go into things.
It's either that or the other thing is just bringing up that I worked with the Florida Gators football team, which that one's probably a better thing to bring up because more people bring up that versus frisbee.
Is that big? Like, if maybe you guys are all Americans, so you can kind of chime in on this. If you if you're like,
it's relatively like a big deal. I mean, not that that doesn't anything for me like with like friends or people, but it definitely like people are like, oh wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. Ryan, I got a question here that I'm interested with that your boys put out.
Yeah.
Maybe you know what? Maybe not. This is professional. I'll keep it like that. But maybe you can just say yes or no. Did you ever meet up with the girl your cousin set you up with?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't. No, my cousin just like there's neighbor of my cousin is going to the same area, like is moving to Tampa. So my cousin told me that I should get in touch with her just to like hang out or just be friends. So we'll move up there. Maybe I'll hang out. Yeah, not anything crazy yet.
Wait, are you from Florida?
Yeah, I'm from Florida. Yeah, I grew up in Vero Beach, Florida, which is
Where?
For people that don't know, it's on the east coast of Florida, and it's about like if you think of Orlando, because that's like right in the middle, and you go dead across to the east coast down about an hour. That's pretty much where I'm from, and so like I lived like 10 or 15 minutes away from the beach.
Yeah. Really? That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think here. Dan, big run guy, eh?
Trying to get that field goal before half.
I know.
Sorry, I keep getting distracted by this, but Ryan, what were you saying again? Or where you live?
No, yeah. I was just saying, like living in Vero Beach and so now I'm going to school at UF. So, I've always been here, and even now going to Tampa.
Yeah. Kind of just building on Tampa, Florida. Maybe you can touch on some of the things that we hear here in Canada about the state of Florida. Thoughts on Joe Exotic?
Joe Exotic is Oklahoma, but
He's Oklahoma.
I was looking at apartments, and there's some apartments that I almost like or was like kind of close to being my price range were about sorry, it was right before. But there's some apartments that were like I think like 5 minutes away from where Carol Baskin was. That was the crazy thing. I was like, where her house was, there was apartments like literally like right there. So that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, okay, maybe that's what I mixed up. I knew one of them was from Florida, but
yeah,
is Florida as crazy as everyone hears?
Right now, with the coronavirus, there has been just people like time after time going out that just aren't wearing masks or don't care. I know there's people like that everywhere, but I don't know. It's just interesting to see how like we're literally in a giant spike and then people still just like don't care.
Yeah.
It's just like the funny thing was early on. I think I mentioned this in the last stream. Was like early on, we were like, oh, it's Florida. Like it's not going to come here because it's warm weather, and it doesn't come to warm weather. And I just thought like that's the most perfect Floridian thing to happen is just like, oh yeah, we're Florida, we're impervious to anything.
Yeah, I won't get into it too much, and maybe it's a whole another topic. But what was I going to say? I was gonna ask Michael something. Michael, give me something to work with.
Well, I was going to ask you actually. So, what's the COVID scene like in the Great North?
The Great North. So it's actually snowing here right now.
The Great North.
Yeah. No,
is it really?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
you know what? When I lived in Boston,
Yeah.
I lived in Boston for a year, and some of the things I could get away with saying that happens in Canada, incredible. I said there was moose and polar bears walking down my street. People believed me.
I would believe that.
I said I had an igloo just a few minutes north of my house. Just things like that. It's pretty crazy. You would have believed that, really. There are deer.
Oh, not the igloo, but like if you saw them on your street, yeah, I would have been like, I believe that.
Well, let me break something to some people here. I've never actually seen a moose in person in my life, so that's something you can take away with that. But obviously, if you go like to the East Coast, like certain areas, they're higher likelihood. Like where I live, actually, you know what? With the whole you're asking about COVID here, since everyone was quarantined, right? There was no cars on the road. There was no people going to work and commuting. Animals were starting to like come in more, right? So there are videos coming out of like big old like bucks of male moose or bull moose, I should say, not bucks. That's deer. Just swimming in people's pools and just roaming down like neighborhoods, which is pretty crazy. But we have a lot of bears where I live, like black bears, not a ton. I have like a shit ton of deer. Like I'll have like 10 deers walking down my street, like no joke. And I live in the city, basically. And yeah, like black bears. Like last year in our downtown, so Ottawa, pro sports team, decently enough size of a city. There was a black bear basically like 5 minutes from Parliament Hill, which is Capitol Hill for comparison for you guys. Yeah. So there's like a black bear in a tree in the park right there because he managed his way to get over there. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah. Yeah, but in terms of cases, we have a spike going on right now, but it's only about like 40 a day, which is still a lot considering we're at 0 for a few days in a row. But yeah, everyone wears masks. It's a law. Like you have to wear a mask if you're going inside. Obviously, outside you're fine. But yeah, we're chilling. Yeah, man. I don't know about you guys, but I'm over COVID. You know.
Oh yeah.
So on.
If COVID wants to leave, I'm cool with that. That'd be great. I appreciate it. Are we? Sorry, I can't read this. Is it say 8 minutes in the quarter? 3 minutes?
There's 3 minutes left in the third.
Pardon, Ryan? What'd you say?
3 minutes left in the third quarter.
Okay. So, Dan, I think you kind of touched on this earlier, what my sports teams were. I know yours are the Eagles. Did you also say Phillies?
So I'm Eagles, Orioles, basketball. I'm kind of just like I follow players, and then I guess I'm like Flyers, Capitals, but like I'm not a big hockey guy, so I kind of just cheer for whoever's good.
Yeah, whoever's good, man. Damn.
I mean, I'll go to a game. The games are hot, but I don't know what's going on.
They actually played exhibition games yesterday. I think I didn't watch it, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So they're in Toronto and Edmonton for hub cities.
Sweet.
Yeah. How about you, Michael? What are your teams?
So, huge Cleveland Indians fan, because baseball is my favorite sport. Although we're undergoing a name change right now. The front runner is the Spiders, which
You gonna be the Cleveland baseball team?
What?
You know, man, that situation with Washington. I feel like that's not I feel like they got a lot of bad rap for that, but I'd rather get the nickname right and wait a year than I guess the alternative. But yeah, that's interesting. But
Hey,
the
I like
Spiders
those
is our
jerseys.
league.
Those are
The
nice jerseys
Indians
in
or
Washington.
The
Like the generic
new ones
one?
or the-
I'm cool with the generic
yeah,
one.
those are hilarious.
So,
It looks like one of those indie football games. Like I bought Doug Flutie's Maxim Football, where they just have a bunch of fake colleges. It looks like that, basically.
I don't know. I think it's clean. I think it's almost cleaner. Just the
Kinda,
sad.
it has like a nice throwback look. I
Yeah,
feel like
that's
just
right.
a classic throwback.
Wait, so
But go
touching
ahead.
the Indians thing again, because maybe I've been too busy where I haven't been keeping up. The Indians are changing their name as well, which makes sense. But Spiders, is that actually?
That's the front runner because that's what they were named in the early 1900s. I don't like it. I kind of like they had the Cuyahoga Burning River was a suggested name because the Cuyahoga River caught fire like several decades ago, which I thought was kind of funny. But I think Spiders is what they're gonna go with.
Oh, if there's history behind it and they put that throwback logo, that's cool. But if they I find sometimes when teams kind of bring some of that sentimental value or back, but then they kind of modernize it, it doesn't go as well because then you have like an old looking logo, but maybe you have like better graphics of it, then it's just horrible. The team here in Ottawa, the Sens, I think they're going back to like the first jerseys they ever had with like one little switch. But yeah, Cleveland.
I feel like you need those in sports though. You need like both the classic throwbacks and then some modernization.
Yeah. So what else do you like? You like the Indians or Spiders?
Yeah, which they do need to change their name. I'm a huge Cavs fan since I have lived in Northeast Ohio most of my life, and then my football team is actually the Carolina Panthers. So I was born outside of Charlotte. Although I only lived there for like 2.5 years, but for some reason I picked them over the Browns. Probably because the Browns have been so bad. But I actually really want to see Cam Newton succeed in New England.
So do I. As a Pats fan, I'm all for that. Are you a hockey fan, or are you like Danny, just go for whoever's on or whoever's winning?
So I enjoy watching like the playoffs. I don't really. I guess I'll go for the Blue Jackets just because they're in Columbus, but I don't have like a team. But I do think the atmosphere in the hockey playoffs is sweet. The NHL playoffs. I actually went to my first two NHL games over spring break. We took a trip to New York and Philly. So I saw the New Jersey Devils, which was cool, but I went and saw a Flyers game.
Mm-hmm.
And like the atmosphere there is like a top five I've been to in a sports venue. Like it's ridiculous. I didn't realize Philly fans were that crazy over hockey.
Hockey's nuts. Like Montreal, like the Bell Center, crazy sporting experience. So I went to a Celtics game in December. I went to Celtics, had Bruins tickets and Pats, but then the Pats game like shifted for primetime on the Saturday for Week 17, so I had to cancel my Bruins tickets. Not my Bruins. I hate the Bruins. Unless you're watching, shout out to the Bruins. Yeah, but I don't know. Basketball I find is a little hard to get behind, but I saw a Golden State game in like 2013. Crazy experience. They have like they're running up Domino's pizza up every section. It's a large too, not a little slice. It's like the loudest fan. I had I had my ears ringing when I left. So that was a good basketball one. Hockey during the playoffs is nuts. Like it's a good time. But yeah, I think hockey should get more respect in the States. Maybe this is just a Canadian. Ooh.
What's it like having like so for baseball and basketball, like having one team? Although I do think they should move the Tampa Bay Rays to Montreal, in my opinion, and bring the Expos back. But
Yeah. Apparently the Rays were going to do half a season in Montreal going forward, but I don't know if that's going to take place. But I think it's amazing. Like last year with so I live in Ottawa, which is 5 hours away from Toronto. And man, that last year's run. So being 5 hours away and only having the one NBA team, all the Canadian teams are out of the NHL playoffs. Everyone's watching the Raptors because Canada hasn't won like a championship in years, right? No Blue Jays, no NHL since like '92. We obviously don't have an NFL team, so we haven't had a major championship in a while. And then it's like the Raptors, so it's like a nationwide team. I know here in Ottawa and a bunch of other cities across Canada, the cities were shut down. Like roads were closed. Our whole like downtown market area where all the bars and like pubs and all that, packed. Like standing room, there's lines outside, every single spot, like the whole street's filled. And we went out every night to watch the games. It felt like you were in Toronto, basically like at a watch party. Like it was nuts. And when they won, it was like a crazy time. Like I know a ton of people that went down to Toronto to go see the championship parade, but I had to like school or work or something, so I couldn't go. But there was like I think you had to line up at like 4 a.m. or something to get a decent spot or like just into the area. Yeah, no, I think it's amazing though. What do you guys think of? As outsiders, I'll ask this to Ryan because Ryan hasn't spoken in a while. Ryan, what do you think of like last year's run with the Raptors? It's you guys don't really have Canadian teams winning on all these American leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, I was sad to see the guy that the Golden State had those injuries and stuff. I mean, I was happy. I mean, I like Kawhi, and I kind of it was like nice with the dynasty because everybody kind of was done with the dynasty.
Yeah.
So everybody really was just kind of wanting to see something new happen and we're hoping they have success. And actually, it's funny because I've secondarily been a Raptors fan for a little bit, like before that, because I had a project in class, a sports media project a couple years ago, where I had to look at a website and evaluate social media and stuff of a team, and my team ended up being the Raptors, and there was a year that they hosted the All-Star game, and so they had the gold floor, so it was kind of just a cool little experience to kind of be a part of and watch out for.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty interesting, especially with like I think their retro jerseys are pretty iconic now. Even just in terms of what's the word here? Maybe like lifestyle apparel or even just like fashion. That you see like Raptors jerseys and like the retro stuff everywhere. At least here.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? It seems like we're kind of closing down on things. Maybe Dan's going for a drive here. Maybe he comes up with another one. Oh, is that in? That's in. Big. Hey, Dan knows what's up. He likes to keep this interesting. That's what the stream's all about.
Not good at defense though. Got hold of your field goal.
Yeah, you gotta get an interception or something, and it keeps us interesting. But one thing that I'll say here now, with the game ending, this is gonna be the last American head-to-head. So I just appreciate everyone coming on, and shout out again to my presenting sponsor, Living Sport. Unfortunately, couldn't have a guest for the last few streams just because everything going on with one of their programs coming out in the next few days. So they've been running around with that and webinars. But I know you guys know this, and for anyone watching who hasn't heard, whoever wins this game will have a shot at winning a $500 Living Sport scholarship. So that's $500 US, because that's what the Canadians were asking. Is it Canadian? Is US? US is more valuable if you're wondering. So that's big. You get a $500 scholarship towards a 2021 international program, 10-day program. So you can go like the UK, Greece. I don't know if they've decided next year's locations yet. But basically you work an event like a marathon, triathlon, some sort of thing like that. And you kind of help set up marketing, sponsorships, and gain that initial sports experience if you don't already have it or if you want to build that network. And you're traveling with 25 other like-minded students or recent graduates. So right there, boom, you get 25 others in your circle, and then you're going to end up making a crazy bond, especially traveling together over 10 days. Then, on top of that, they help you out with like resume building. They kind of have a mentorship program almost, and a huge network. So we have guests come on from the Living Sport program, and now they're working with the Dodgers. Now, I think someone else, they're working with Triathlon USA. They're kind of coming up with all these new positions now because they're all like building off one another. Someone else is working with the Eagles. And it allows you to have a great opportunity, get that initial sports experience, meet all these great people, get these advice and tips. And on top of that, let's say you're in the UK working a marathon or something, you still go visit the different soccer stadiums and kind of understand what it looks like in a huge market like that. Maybe network with some executives there as well. So that's something to look into. Even if someone doesn't win, that's something to look into regardless. So Living Sport, you can find them on social media at I Am Living Sport. But yeah, guys, what are we thinking here? 2 minutes left. Who's taking it? Dan smiling. Dan. What?
It's leaning towards Ryan right now.
Yeah.
Still have a chance though.
Yeah. Michael, you know what? Michael's a neutral party here. Michael, if you're a betting man, where's the money going?
I gotta be honest, I just have it on the Zoom call right now.
Oh yeah? That's no worries. Here, let me tell you this. So Ryan has the ball on the 37. So Dan's 37. So he has 37 yards till he gets a touchdown. Man, I'm gonna do color commentary too. That's gonna be on my LinkedIn soon. 37 yards until Ryan's got a touchdown. I'm gonna go with Ryan. I'm gonna go with Ryan.
Didn't pick.
Oh boy, man, that was good stuff. Shout out Mike Evans. I know you're watching. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the debate recently? I know Ryan answered this on our last.
Yeah.
But I'll ask this to Michael and Dan because I was listening to Bussin' with the Boys. Shout out Bussin' with the Boys podcast, and they're kind of touching on top receivers as well. Michael, Dan, who are your top 3 receivers in the NFL?
Top 3.
I go Julio Jones.
Jones 1?
Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, and...
Tyreek Hill.
I don't know. Tyreek Hill's number 3. I'm trying to think who's number 2.
My thing with Tyreek Hill, don't get me wrong, great receiver, puts up points. But it's his speed. Obviously, he can catch, but That's
Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument that he might not be as talented as Julio or Michael Thomas or someone else, but I mean, he has that speed,
Yeah.
and no one can catch up to him.
What about like DeAndre Hopkins then?
He's my number one, dude. He doesn't drop the ball.
Yeah, I'd put Hopkins at number 2 or 1 with Julio.
So what? Like, give me the 1, 2, 3. If you want to give me 4, you can go 4.
I go Julio 1, Hopkins 2, Tyreek 3.
Michael Thomas 4.
Yeah, Thomas 4.
Okay. Ryan.
Also
no,
missing
I
someone.
already got Ryan. Sorry, I meant Michael.
I'm gonna go D-Hop 1 just because he doesn't drop passes. Although he's probably not the most talented receiver, but based off that alone, I guess. Oh man, I'm gonna go with Michael Thomas 2 and then Julio 3.
We got 4.
I'm gonna go with Mike Evans. I think he's gonna have a career year with Tom Brady this year.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, with Jameis throwing every other throw from Jameis a wobbly pass, which was insane. And it'll be interesting to see. I mean, he hasn't had the best like career like catch percentage and catch numbers, but like compared to like especially D Hop and like anybody else, but his yards and his averages, like how many yards he gets per catch and touchdowns. I mean, he's had 1,000 every year. So I mean, like it'll be interesting to see like if Brady can throw it down the field. But Jameis was never even a good deep ball thrower anyway. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And having Godwin too, one of Dan's boys from Penn State.
Yes, sir.
My one of my best friends that I went to school with over the past couple of years was a Penn State fan. And the funniest thing was like sophomore year, his sophomore year he called out that like Saquon was going to be the best running back. It was like after Saquon's like sophomore year, before he was even really good. Like this guy's a beast. He's going first round. He's going to be a first round draft pick. And we're like, okay.
Man, nah, I'm just blessed to just get 1 year of Saquon. I can't imagine when I got 3 years.
Yeah.
That's like technically they're pretty much my second team after Florida because of my buddy and like being like watching like Saquon because like we followed all those games and like for like pretty much 2 years we like watched I watched with him games whenever UF wasn't on, so it was like cool to follow that and all those.
That's
guys.
crazy. One of the kids in my friend group, he's like Penn State and his second team's Florida because his dad I went to his house, got like Tim Tebow, like all the like, big Florida.
I have a picture with Tim Tebow.
Ryan, you kind of look like Tebow.
6th grade. I was like, it was like 6th, 7th grade, so I was in my little like the in between, like my little out of shape, like chubby face. So it's kind of funny, and I was wearing sandal Crocs. It's funny looking back at that picture, but it's still kind of cool. I got a picture with Tebow, so
100%. Is that it, guys? 31-21. Ryan moves on. Ryan's one step closer to the $500 Living Sport scholarship. Guys, that's it for tonight. That's the American bracket. Dan, that's an amazing run. You
2K would have been a different story.
I'm not gonna lie. Dan puts in work.
I would have lost if I had that.
Yeah, Dan definitely puts in work on 2K. So, guys, I appreciate it. Ryan, Michael, Dan, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
100%. Let's stay connected, and if anyone wants to get in contact with either of these guys, follow me at nascimentomktg. So that's right on top of the banner. Shoot me a message saying, hey, I want to get in contact with Dan or someone from Penn State or Michael. Where's this podcast? Ryan. I want to find him on the next stream. Let me know, and that's it for tonight. I gotta go. I got a meeting, but enjoy your night, guys. And Ryan, I'll see you on Saturday.
Sounds good. I love you, Mom. I know you're watching. I love you.